Good morning. So I wanted to do a very short video about my breastfeeding journey so far because so many people ask me about it, and I have so many conversations about it with other mums and other people who have breastfed and who haven't breastfed or haven't been able to. Excuse me. So I'm just going to literally go through it as if I was going through it day by day. So when she was born, she's having a great time. I'm having a quick look. Hey, Solaris. Oh my god, mummy's sneezing a lot. So, day 1, day 2, breastfed her out of the womb. It was much easier than I expected. I was like, great, we've cracked it. And then all of a sudden, day 2, she was screaming. By this time, I was at home, so it might have even been like day 2.5, day 3. Every time I'd put her to the boob, she would scream her head off, like screaming in pain type of thing. And I just didn't really know what to do. So I booked a lactation consultant and I booked a osteopath because, so my background is anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, injury rehab. And I could feel that there was so much tension. I could see that she couldn't move her head as much or as well on one side than the other. So I booked that in and had them back to back on the Monday. So this must have been like a Friday night, Saturday. So I had to wait a few days. So it was really, really stressful. So we ended up giving her formula, which I was absolutely fine with. I just knew that I needed her to eat. And as long as she was eating, I was happy. I didn't want her to lose weight. I didn't want to have to take her back into hospital. I didn't want her to be underfed. So we went to the appointments, went to the lactation consultant, who was amazing. We have a charity called Baby Umbrella in Kent, and they basically provide support to mums and new babies or young babies. And they have like a breastfeeding cafe where you come to a kind of shared room setting and you book in. You do have to book in advance. And then they basically, like the lactation consultant, when she's ready for you, she'll come over and see you. She'll look at your breastfeeding. She'll tell you what you can do to improve. She will maybe identify what the main issues are. It honestly is amazing. And that's what she did with us. She was amazing. She was called Yanni, and oh my god, she was brilliant. I just wanted to take her home with me. And she basically said her neck is really, really tight. She felt inside her mouth. She moved her head around, and she said you can tell her sternocleidomastoid, which is the muscle here, is really, really tight, and it's preventing her from opening her jaw and turning her head, but mainly preventing her from opening her mouth, which is really, really important because you need a wide open mouth to latch. So she wasn't able to latch. Then we went to the osteopath. She said exactly the same thing. Really, really tight sternocleidomastoid. We could see that kind of head rotation was a bit of an issue. Are you wriggling too? Snotty face. You're sneezing like mummy. A lot of favour today. I need to take my antihistamine. So yeah, so we went to them. We went to see the osteopath maybe like 4 times, and same with the lactation consultant. Each week they'd give us, well, mainly the lactation consultant would tell us to do different things, and then each week we'd do them, and then she'd progress the program. And then eventually, so she did get me to use nipple shields to start with, and they were a life changer. Like I needed to use them, so I used them, and I became really reliant on them. And I think about session 3 or 4, she turned around and said, try not to use them all the time now, which was really scary because it was really painful still, and I didn't want to go through that pain. Anyway, I didn't really not use them because it was just so painful, but I had to go to hospital again because I got a C-section infection. So I was in there overnight, I think for 2 nights, on an IV antibiotic. And for whatever reason, when I got home, all of my nipple shields had disappeared. I think I had 3. I couldn't find a single one. And I either left them in the sterilizer at the hospital, or I had them on the side and I was ready to take them, but I threw them in the bin, or I don't really know. They're really hard to see. So I had a meltdown, just cried, got really cross to Sam, was blaming him. I was like, where are my nipple shields? And I had to breastfeed her without them. So I gave it a go, and I managed to do it, and I kept doing it, and I didn't buy any new nipple shields. I did actually order some when it happened, and then when they got here I was like, no, I'm not using these, because by the time they'd got here I was actually breastfeeding without nipple shields. So I sent them back, and yeah, it was amazing. It was like the universe telling me, stop using nipple shields, you can do this without them now. And I think there's a few reasons why. One, she's bigger, so she's physically bigger, so she's able to open her mouth wider, so her mouth is bigger. Two, she's more confident with movement. She's learnt skills that she didn't have before. She's now understanding how to use her mouth more, what position she needs to be in, all of that. And then three, I've got way more confident about the positioning that she needed to be in, and like how to align her ear, shoulder, hips, and all of that. Tried moving her into different positions. You do get more confident. It doesn't come naturally, necessarily. I think like maybe 1% of people, maybe it comes naturally, but definitely didn't come naturally to me. And then I just kept trying and kept trying and kept trying. We were kind of doing combi feeding, so some bottle, some breast milk. So I was pumping her milk into bottles, and then that milk was being fed via bottle, obviously. And then sometimes I'd be breastfeeding, and that worked really, really well. And then over time, I gradually started to breastfeed more and more and more. And now I exclusively breastfeed. I mean, not intentionally, like if I need a formula bottle because I haven't pumped for whatever reason, or I don't have any fresh breast milk available, I will give her a formula, but I don't remember the last time I did that, and it's been at least a week. So I do pump and use bottles. Like I'm freezing my milk at the moment. I've got an operation on Monday to have my gallstones removed. Oh my god, I can't wait. I'm not looking forward to the operation. I'm looking forward to not having my gallbladder anymore, because I can eat properly and just not have so much anxiety. But I won't be able to breastfeed her for 24 hours because of the medication I'll be on, and it will make her sleepy. So I have to pump and dump, and therefore I'm pumping this week so that she has enough breast milk for that 24 hours that I won't be able to feed her. Okay, so that is kind of where we are up to now. I would say that nighttime feeds are a whole other ball game. So during the day I breastfeed her holding her, so I'm just going to try and center myself. I breastfeed her sitting pretty much all the time, and that's really, really comfortable for me. It wasn't at the start. Like my shoulders hurt, my neck hurt. I've developed like a fat pad on the back of my neck, and I'm pretty sure that's from breastfeeding and not exercising all the stress. And at night time I breastfeed her in a side-lying position. The side-lying position is hard because my nipples are quite lateral, and you have to position her in a really certain way and very, very close to you for her to latch on. So it took a while for that to get comfortable, and sometimes because she's not in the right position, it can be quite sore. So then I have to reset her, and then I'm waking up and I have to put the lights on because I'm like, where are you in relation to my nipple? I can hear her getting aggy. She's going to cry in a minute. So I would say that like different positions you learn over time. It's taken me longer to learn the side-lying position than it has the seated position. I guess because I do it more, and also I'm not tired during the day. Well, I am tired, but not sleep tired. Hello, chicken licking. Ah, you're so beautiful. So that's pretty much where we're at now, and I plan to at least breastfeed her for 6 months, and I would like to breastfeed her for at least to 9 months, because I plan to go back to work in 9 months. But when I go back to work, I won't be working full time. And if I can possibly pump throughout the day or come back home to feed her, then that would work really well. She feeds less now. That's another thing that is really important to notice. The kind of older they get, the less regular the feeds become. That makes it a lot easier for you to get on with the housework, go driving, go to places. I find that Solaris loves to eat in the evening and at night time. So like morning time, I can get away with like one big feed up until maybe 1, then another big feed and 1, and then maybe around 4ish it's like constant cluster feeding. I don't know if it's because during the day she just likes to be doing things and then sleeping, and then at night time she's like, I'm really hungry. So that happens, and I do pretty much spend like every half an hour just feeding her. So I feed her, try and make some dinner, feed her, try and make some dinner. It is a bit harder in the evenings to cook. And luckily my mum's coming today, so she'll be here for 2 nights, and that makes everything a lot easier because she'll usually cook, and then I can just sit and breastfeed her and watch TV. So that is my breastfeeding journey so far. It is a journey. Now, it's taken me a full 7 weeks to get to the point of breastfeeding confidently, comfortably. And even though like now I'm at 8 weeks, over 8 weeks, breastfeeding can sometimes still hurt. It's not as nearly as painful as it was before, and you can push through. But I think sometimes if they're not in the right position, or they've changed their mouth movements, it can get sore. So you have to be really persistent, and it depends on what you want. Like, there's no judgment if you're like, I just want a formula feed. Go and do that. It does make your life easier at the beginning. Other people can feed her. You're not solely responsible for feeding her. On the flip side to that, I love breastfeeding, and it's a really, really nice thing that only you can do. You're the only person that can give your baby that. And there's a internal connection that happens when you're doing that, and I do feel like I love her so much. I mean, I love her so much anyway, but like there's this love that beams when you're breastfeeding, and it's just lovely. I can't describe it unless you've done it, unless you can do it. Like, it's just really hard to describe. And also, it's cheap, it's free, and formula feeding is blooming expensive. So if you can afford formula food and you want to do it that way, and you're not having any issues with like milk production, or latching is one of those things I think you can always fix, and you just have to take your time. There are other reasons why you might not be able to breastfeed, and it might not necessarily be that fixable, or it is fixable but it's going to take you a much longer time, and by that point you don't want to just stress yourself out so much. So I've spoken to loads of different people. My nose is ripping up, so embarrassing. I need like a tissue. One sec. Where was I? So it is different. I can't remember what I was saying. It is different depending on the person. There are different challenges that can present, like tongue tie. That could be another reason that the baby's struggling to breastfeed. I do find a lot of people that talk to me about these things, because I have shared a reel or a TikTok or a short, whatever you want to call it, about breastfeeding, or my pumping and milk production specifically, and about how that took time, because it does take time to build. It's not just like you're bursting with breast milk. It takes time to build up that flow. A lot of people do struggle with production, and I don't know how you can increase that. Like, I'm no expert. What I've heard is that you can eat oat milk, drinking loads of water. I mean, I have 3 litres of water a day. I eat really healthily because I have to, because of my gallstones. I would also say potentially, like, you could maybe use supplements. I don't know. I would definitely speak to a health visitor or a midwife if you're struggling with milk production, because they may be able to help. But there's all sorts of reasons why breastfeeding can be really hard, and it's just about identifying what that reason is and whether you can fix it, and then persist and persevere and try and get through. It took me, as I said, 7 weeks. It takes other people longer. It takes other people shorter. My friend breastfeeds really, really easily. Her baby's 2 weeks older than mine, and she was breastfeeding so quickly. So everybody's breastfeeding journey is different. That's just my experience. She's going to probably need to feed now. So I hope that was really helpful. I hope that you benefited a lot from it. I'm going to breastfeed my baby now. I do really enjoy it. And other than that, good luck if it's something that you really want to do.